Let's get it back to the basics. Let's get it back to the matrix. Back to the way it was. Watch me as I break this. Bring it down slow. If you wanna go, then we can go.
I had a pager, and I needed a pager code, really. And you know, my name's Joe, so I just turned the letters around, and 307 was the closest I can come to Joe in numbers. And then I ended up later on in life, I was, I'd write 307 everywhere as my tag. And then later on, I was airbrushing some T-shirts for a show that we were doing here, and I put my birth date on the back of my shirt, like said 4/30/78, and in the middle of the 430 was 307. And then as you can see, I got it tattooed, and it's like right in the middle of my, right in the middle of my hand. So I feel like 307 is my destiny rather than just a name that I gave myself. It's kind of like a name that I was given at birth, and I just needed to find it. So 307 manifested into this artist now that I do all my music and things like that. So that's pretty much where it came from. I feel like I'm an artist of all genre, and my style, starting out being influenced by a lot of hard rock, classic rock and metal, moving into hip hop and rap, and some of the new school crunk and trap. I'm trying to create my own genre to where I call it, I was starting to call it crunkcore, then I started getting out of that and I called it trap metal. Now I call it scrap metal. So like it's more like a metal mesh with some crunk and trap music, and so I'm still working with the style, but I definitely mix genres a lot, and I play guitar, so I mix some guitar riffs over the top of the beats, and but my roots stay hip hop and rap oriented. I've been doing music and art since I was young. My uncle started out drawing and things like that, so I started drawing and then getting into, I was always into music. My dad was into doing light and sound and roadie type work for bands up in New York, so I was always around it. I got a guitar when I was 11, so I always played, and then I think I first started actually rapping and doing hip hop music probably later on when I was about 25, 26, and but I've always been doing music, so I would say in this particular game I've been in about 10 years. When I first got into hip hop music anyway, I got a cassette tape that I played in my car that my buddy gave me, and it was started out with some Tupac, Holla If You Hear Me. So that's my greatest influence. Tupac is about pretty much the epitome of rap to me, and artistry and poetry. Had some Flatliners, Gravediggers, Wu-Tang, Onyx, some real, that hardcore, not necessarily all gangster rap, but gangster rap, hardcore. And then I get into Pantera, Metallica, Megadeth, Amir, different new bands like that. And then I could even get into the new school. I like Jeezy, I like Waka, I like Gucci Mane sometimes, Yellow Wolf, MGK, Kasky, and so my influences are real broad. But definitely my favorite artist is Tupac. Moving on to Nas, some influential. That's the style I'm kind of going for too. I want to be influential in a way, not just do what everybody else is doing. You can find me all over. Matter of fact, I'm real good at my internet game. 307 Kid, 307 KID. If you Google it, you'll literally find every social media network that I'm on. I'm on Facebook, 307 Kid, Reverb Nation, 307 Kid, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. Literally, I probably have like 13 to 15 social networks. But if you just 307kid.com, it goes straight to my music. And I'd like to eventually put a band behind my music, so Tre07 is kind of like the band aspect of my music. So you could also do Tre07.com, TRE07, and that also goes to my music. So I'm kind of like in between the regular artist and the band, Tre07. All my tracks other than the original tracks, because I do work with some producers, Bumblebee Productions. He produces a lot of my original music, and all my tracks on Reverb Nation are downloadable. You can download any of the stuff on there. I have about 3 EPs that I put out, like 7 to 9 tracks. There's In the End It Starts With, drunk punk crunkcore music, and then the pages in the book. Then I started out doing music with a group called Triple S. Triple S has 3 mixtapes. And then I got Diamond 8. Diamond 8's got 3 mixtapes. So there's a lot of different music you can find, but pretty much all the tracks I've ever been on with myself and other people are on Tre07kid.com, and that goes straight to Reverb Nation. I feel like I'm an artist of all genre. You know, music is one art form, and in doing that, you know, I went to college for graphic art design and video production, so most of that I've used in my own music. I make my own mixtape covers, I make my own marketing, I've done my own videos, I've gotten into clothing, I've printed my own shirts and different designs. I've worked with a lot of other different artists when we came to video production and graphic design, so there's many different aspects to the artistry other than just the music, but the music is really where it all connects, you know, and it has an outlet of some, you know. State of hip-hop. I really want to say the state of music, but as far as hip-hop, I think it's watered down. I think it's a lot of commercialized. You know, in every era, I believe there's been commercialized music, but I think more so now, where a lot of people that are getting signed are being told what to say, what to do, how to put themselves out there. You know, some artists don't speak on political things because they're probably under contract to not do so. And I feel like that's watered it down and taken the responsibility away from us as artists. You know, like, we can just put stuff out there and let the population destroy themselves because we want to talk about, you know, drugs and getting crunk. And while all that's fine, you know, we can do that, but we have to have some kind of responsibility for our actions after the fact and how we influence a generation of kids and things. Because obviously most of the people that listen to music, you know, start out listening to it as kids. So we have somewhat of a responsibility. So the state of music and hip hop in general is that I think we need to be more responsible with what we're doing and not just following the masses or the one particular artist that's real popular and he's pretty much got control over a lot of the industry, whereas the other artists that are coming up are trying to actually say something. They got things to say and good information and intellectually, and, you know, so I don't know, man. I think just more responsibility for our actions, and I think that's where more independence is going to come in. We're not getting signed to a label, but remaining independent and allowing our artistry to be created by us rather than by what the mass media wants or what the conglomerates and the people with the money want, because then we lose it and water it down. You know, at one point I would have said it was a problem, but recently I've seen a lot of people coming together and really doing work. And coming together and respecting each other's talents, and that's the most part about it. Is any artist, even if you don't like a major artist, you got to respect what they do and the artistry and the work that they put in. So if they're doing work and they're trying to make themselves, you know, and they're not purposely trying to mess people's things up, or they're going at them on purpose to like fuck up their game, you know what I mean? Then it's all about respect. And Hernando County, for sure, I think, like, and any small town, you know, local thing, there can be tension because one person wants to make it before the next, and, you know, one person's better than the next and this and that. But what we got to understand is, in order to remain, like I said before, in order to remain independent, we got to be able to be the resources. And when these people like sign us and they put us in their genre that they want us in, and they mold us to what they want, they're going to give us the video guy, the graphic guy, the tour guy. They're going to give us all these people that we don't know. And then they're going to send us out on the road with people that we don't know. Rather than, if we come together as a group and understand that we don't have to necessarily work together, like, you know, I don't got to do a track with this guy and a track with this guy and be a whole, you know, group together. But if we come together and understand that the more work we do for each other, just like in any community, the more you help each other, the better the community goes. So this hip hop and rap community that we have here, like, there's a lot of talent in all different areas, and just not just artistry as far as music, but artistry in the video and the graphics. And I know artists that produce music that are, their game in graphics is just as great as their game in the music, you know. So we got a lot of guys that play drums, guitars, you know, they're performers, they do light and sound. And do you think if we had all that in one conglomerate, like our own, we can remain independent, still get more and get more of our money that we're entitled to, and the level of respect for each other would just be phenomenal. So lately I've been seeing a real good collaborative and collective of people coming together. Maybe back in the day, you know, when a lot of people were younger and really immature. There's still a select few that are like that, you know, and they probably won't ever come to the other side. But you know, I've been seeing a lot of good things coming out of here lately. Shout outs, man. We got to do shout outs. So shout out to Gotti, Guns, Remedy, Hard Target, of course, man, Trouble Gang, CP. I want to shout out Cap 704, Charlotte, North Carolina. Me and my boy James, we've been working on music. Shout out to James. A couple other people. You know, if I forgot you, I'm sorry. But yeah, man, I'm happy to be here and be in this interview, so I want to thank you as well.
You end up in the cast. I'm looking for some talent, and it's all part of the plan. I'm just keeping the balance. Now watch me body, 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 body.